welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I have a big haul of Lisa Eldridge products for you guys. Lisa Eldridge is a brand that I have known and loved for quite a while, and I do have a lot of her products already. But recently I was browsing her website and thinking about which products I've been eyeing for a while, and I was in a treat myself mood, so I ended up picking up a lot of stuff. None of these are brand new releases. It's been a little while since she's released anything new, but these are products that I've been very excited about, and so I wanted to share with you guys my initial impressions of these products today. I probably will do some follow-on videos as well, so if you guys are interested in learning more about Lisa Eldridge, then just stick around. So let's just start with the box. So in the US, you can't actually buy Lisa Eldridge in stores, so I bought from her website. It's always very nicely packaged, so let's take a look. Ooh. Okay, so here we have the goodies. And yes, part of why I spent so much is I really wanted this free bag for some reason. I say for some reason because I have a lot of her bags already and I don't actually use them, but this one looked really pretty. Like, look at that pattern, so lovely. It actually really matches the dress I have on today as well. But you did have to have a minimum spend to get this, and so that's why I picked up some extra goodies. There's this little foundation card over here. I do have her full-size foundation as well. And then I picked up her Elevated Glow in Cosmic Rose. This is her liquid highlighter. I picked up 3 of her liquid eyeshadows. This was actually what inspired this haul. I've been using her liquid eyeshadow in Anais quite a bit recently, and so I wanted to pick up a few more colors. I have Titania, Daphne, and Anjelica, so super excited about those. And then I also picked up her eyeshadow palette in Sorcery. So if you guys have watched any of my videos about her eyeshadow palette in Myth, you know that that really didn't work out for me. It's like my least favorite eyeshadow palette in my collection. But I love Lisa Eldridge so much and love the packaging of this palette so much that I figured I would give it one more chance and try it in Sorcery, since I've heard such rave reviews about this palette. So to start things off, let's go into this Cosmic Rose Elevated Glow product. This is kind of a weird splurge for me because I don't usually use these products. I do have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I do like that product, but usually I feel like it's just too much hassle to add an additional step in my routine. But for some reason, when I was on the Lisa Eldridge website, this just really appealed to me. I saw some of her videos of her using this, and so here we are. And I really do love the packaging. This is super luxe, way more luxe than the Charlotte Tilbury one. Very heavy frosted glass bottle, beautiful golden lid that matches the aesthetic of her other products. So really pretty. There is no Lisa Eldridge emblem at the top, but overall very lovely and luxe. So let's open this. So similar to the Charlotte, this comes with a doe foot applicator. So here is a swatch of it. Ooh, really pretty. And I think this shade Cosmic Rose looks like it'll be very nice and natural on my skin tone. I was debating between this and the Champagne, but I think this rose gold is actually perfect for my undertones. So to start things off, I'm gonna actually just take this on a sponge and put this all over the face. I'm going to use this in a few different ways today. So one, just kind of all over the face for some glow. I'm kind of curious how this would look on a no makeup day. And then I'm also going to use this later on as a highlighter once I have finished up my makeup. This is definitely a much more liquidy consistency than the Charlotte Tilbury. I will grab that at some point so I can give you guys a comparison swatch. And as you can see, it has a pretty subtle shine overall that adds to the skin. So here we have it on this side of my face and nothing but skincare on this side. And so I feel like by itself, it actually doesn't look too blinding. So if you just want to kind of have a healthier, dewier finish to the skin, this might be a really good way to get that on an everyday basis. You could probably also mix this into like a skin tint or even your SPF on an everyday basis. Very pretty. Sometimes with these products, you really don't want to use them all by themselves because they can be too strong, but this looks really nice. In case you guys are curious, here's a swatch comparison with the Hollywood filter from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 3. So these shades are actually very similar. Both of them have that kind of peachy pinky tone to them. But you can see that the Charlotte is a bit of a thicker consistency. It's more opaque and high shine. So this one you would want to thin out a little bit more compared to the Lisa Eldridge. And now I'm just applying this to the rest of my face as well. Alright, so I'm definitely looking quite glowy right now. Very, very hydrated look to the face. So now let's get into the foundation. So I do have a bottle of her foundation in the full size. This is shade 15. I absolutely love this foundation. It's definitely packaging wise my all-time favorite foundation. Look how pretty this is. It does sit flat over here, but I love the kind of egg appearance to it. Now this is definitely my summer shade. It's a little bit deep for me right now. And so when I picked up the card, I got the one that's from shades 8 to 10. So these are probably a little bit too light for me, but I figured I can always mix it with 15 if needed. So let's go into these. This will actually be useful for me to figure out what my winter shade is in her line because I do really love her foundations. So I'm just going to open all of these because I'm not really sure which one will work best for me. And then we'll do some swatches on my face in case you guys are similar in tone to me. So here's 8. That is a light shade and it's a bit yellowy, I would say, on my skin tone, though depth-wise a decent match. Next we have 9. Okay, so that one is way more neutral, almost kind of like an olivey undertone. Then we have 9.5, and sorry for the crookedness there. Okay, that one is way too olive. It almost looks green against my skin. And then finally we have 10. Okay, actually 10 might be the best of the bunch. It's a tad bit deeper than my current skin tone, but yeah, at least I think it's a little bit less greenish than some of the other ones. Like this one's just really yellow. These two are a little bit too green, I would say. So maybe 10 actually mixed with 8 would be the way to go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Here it is on this side. And I'm going to just use the butt of my beauty blender to kind of scoop some of this away. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to first just go in with 8 kind of towards the center of my face, like that. And then I'm going to dot 10, which is a light medium, kind of elsewhere around my face. Yeah, I think 10 actually is decent. If it was just a tiny bit lighter, I feel like it would be the perfect tone. On the plus side though, if you guys have a really olivey complexion, I feel like it's a little hard to find foundation that actually has those greener undertones. And so 9 and 9.5 definitely have it though. So let's just dab this in. And I realize I should have done this on half of my face first so you guys can see the texture better. I really like this foundation because it has a very lovely skin-like finish. It doesn't look matte, but also it doesn't look luminous. It just looks very skin-like. The seamless skin title to it definitely applies. Alrighty, so here we have it on half of my face on this side. Hopefully you guys can just see how natural that finish is. And then, you know, this side with the dots still. Let's blend these out as well. And I actually think this combination is pretty good for me right now. I'm glad I picked up this packet because I really did not need to deepen it up at all. 10 is already a little bit deeper than my natural skin tone. So it's good to know that I've gotten quite a bit lighter, unfortunately, because now a lot of my foundations, including this Lisa Eldridge in 15, are too light for me. But here we have a light layer of that on both sides. I would probably normally just stop here, but because I definitely need to throw this out after use, I'm gonna just go in with a bit more just to not waste product, and also to kind of illustrate for you guys how buildable this product is. I love how this doesn't look cakey even if you add a few layers on it. It's really nicely buildable. So here we have 2 layers. I'm gonna go off camera to do the products I don't have from Lisa Eldridge, so concealer plus brows plus powder and bronzer, and that'll be back for the eyeshadow look. And we're back. If you're curious about any of the products that I have on my face, they will be linked in the description box below. So before we get into the eyeshadow, I also just wanted to put on something on my lips. So I think I'm gonna go into Cinnabar from Lisa Eldridge. This is in her Gloss Embrace formula. I do have almost all of her gloss embraces, so this is a formula I do know and love. This particular shade is quite pigmented. Now, it has been a while since I featured these on my channel because I have found that some of them are starting to turn a bit. So technically these are supposed to last for 36 months, but a few of mine are starting to taste a little bit off. Like, not like rancid off, but just, you know, a little bit unpleasant. And so that's been a little bit disappointing. I still do love this formulation, but unfortunately that has turned me off from wearing it as often. So now let's get into these liquid eyeshadows. So I am super excited about these. I've been eyeing these for a very long time. I spent like a few hours the other day just trying to figure out which shades I wanted to buy because so many of them are just really beautiful. And for context, I'm someone who normally doesn't like liquid eyeshadows, but I found myself recently going in with liquid eyeshadow a lot on days when I just want a really, really simple eyeshadow look. And so these are perfect for that. So here we have the 3 shades that I picked up. Really, really beautiful everyday shades. So first we have Titania. This is described as an antique gold. And Lisa Eldridge has a great video where she shows using this as a holiday one and done. So that's what I'm gonna do for today's look. We also have Daphne. This is a golden olive green shade. It has more of a satin shimmer finish compared to the rest. And then we have Anjelica, a neutral pink taupe. I really hope this will just be a really great everyday shade on me. And then here's Anais, which is pre-existing in my collection. So let me give you guys some swatches of these shades because I'm super excited to see these in person. I feel like I watched a lot of videos of these and they do look kind of different in different people's videos. So I'm very curious in person what they look like. So here we have the swatches, Titania. You can see Titania is actually pretty deep. It has a black base to it, which the others don't quite have. Then we have Daphne, really pretty greenish gold. And then Anjelica. This one actually is more pigmented than I thought it would be. It has a little bit more pinkiness than I anticipated. And then Anais. This one is an antique pewter, but it has a little bit of a green undertone to it as well, but as you can see it's way less green and less warm than Daphne. I'm glad that these all look very distinct though, because I think otherwise they can sort of look similar on the lids, but this I think spans the spectrum pretty well. So let me know if you guys would be interested in a dedicated video to this formula with like swatches of these on my eyes. For today's video, I'm just gonna do a one and done with Titania, since this video is probably gonna be pretty long anyway, but let me know if you want more of a deep dive. So I do have some of my Pat McGrath primer on today. Usually when I wear this formula, I just put it on directly without any primer. But since we're doing a full look today, I figured why not go all out. And normally I go in with a brush, but I'm actually kind of curious how this applies with a finger because that's how Lisa Eldridge did it in her video. So I'm gonna try that. It's definitely stickier than normal with this Pat McGrath primer on underneath. So let's just dab this in. Oh, that looks pretty nice actually. I feel like that blended out like a dream. So I find typically if I do this without primer, it does dry down pretty quickly, so you don't need to have the primer on underneath. That said, if your eyes do get watery over the course of the day, which mine sometimes do, it can start bleeding into your eyes a bit, so that's part of also why I wanted to try it with primer today. But there we go, so that's how it looks blended out just with a finger. You can see there's a lot more on this side than this side. That is something that can be a little bit finicky with liquid eyeshadow. It's hard to get the exact same amount on both sides, so I'm actually going to go in with a bit more on this side just to help even things out. I do find this formula layers pretty well though, so it's not actually that much of a pain to go in with additional layers. And I'm actually quite impressed how easy this is to apply with a finger. Like I said, I actually usually don't go in with a finger. I like going in with my Refer number 33 brush. This I find is just very quick and easy in terms of getting the kind of shape that I want, but remarkably it's actually really nice with a finger as well. And I do really like this shade Titania. I think because it has a little bit of that black base to it, you can get a really multi-dimensional look even though you're only using one shade. And I'm actually really impressed. It's basically already totally set, and so I don't feel like I actually need to do anything else to it. That was just super, super quick and easy. Now for the lower lash line, I do want a bit more precision, so I'm going to go in with this BK Beauty 204 brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it on this brush and then run this along the lower lash line. Ooh, it is very cooling. A little bit definitely goes a long way. Normally I don't do this step with Anais because I feel like Anais is just very shimmery, but I think with this shade, because it has some of that blackened base, I'm hopeful that it looks good on the lower lash line as well. Alrighty, there we go. That is really, really nice. I'm so impressed. I actually really love this eye look because I'm usually someone who's not really a one and done eyeshadow person. I like to have a lot of dimensionality to my eye looks, which is why I go in with eyeshadow palettes and a lot of different layers. But this looks so good for just one eyeshadow. So before we go on from eyeshadow, I did want to briefly show you guys the Sorcery palette as well. So of course I have no real estate right now to put this on my eyes, but I will probably film a separate video with this. Definitely let me know if you guys would be interested. I can try to prioritize that. But here we have the gorgeous Sorcery palette. I love her packaging. Like I said, this is like my all-time favorite packaging for eyeshadow. So beautiful, so luxe. These are refillable. You can also mix and match across her palettes. And here is the Sorcery palette itself. Wow. Super, super pretty. So initially I didn't buy this one because I thought the color story was a little bit intimidating, but in the videos I've seen, this looks absolutely gorgeous. I love how there's a lot of shimmers in this. It seems like it'll be very high shine and impactful. As I mentioned, I also do have her Myth palette, and I have a couple videos featuring this in case you guys want to see it in action. This one to me seemed like a much more approachable color story, and indeed I think color story wise it is, but I have just not enjoyed the formulas in this. It has more matte shades. This one's really the only shimmer, and this glitter topper has basically been hard panned from day one. So I'm not a fan of this palette, would not recommend. But I do like the shimmer formula in here, so I'm hopeful that because Sorcery is mainly metallics and shimmers, hopefully this will get along with me a lot better. So before I go off camera to do my eyeliner, I did also just want to try this product as highlighter. So I feel like my cheeks are already looking pretty luminous just from the glow sort of peeking in from underneath my foundation. But let's see how this looks kind of on top as a highlighter as well. So I'm just gonna put some of this on the back of my hand. I will say I kind of wish this were a pump instead of a doe foot because I feel like I have to put on the back of my hand. It's not the most, sanitary application. But let me first try this with a brush. So I have my BK Beauty 109 brush. Just gonna take some of this and just sort of tap it in. Ooh, very, very juicy. Wow. I think I did a little bit too much. It's a bit liquidy. Let me actually see if I can sort of, okay, actually, no, do not use your finger with this. That just kind of brushed away my blush underneath. Okay, I'm just gonna continue with this brush and hope it doesn't disturb the blush too much. I might have to go in with more blush actually once this dries down. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's now this little bald spot here where I tried to do a finger application. To be fair, this is on top of powder blush, so that might not have been the best idea. Whatever's left over, I'm just gonna kind of put on my nose and on my forehead. Everything is powdered right now, so there's the risk of this picking things up, but all right. I think that looks pretty overall. Like, it's a very subtle highlight. What I really like about this formula is that it doesn't look shiny in terms of, like, you can't see individual glitter particles. It just gives you a really beautiful glow. Ooh, really nice. Though, yeah, the only problem is I think because it's so liquidy, it does have a little bit of a tendency to dissolve things underneath. So if you are especially going in with a finger application on top of powder, be careful. The brush, I think, was much better at avoiding any issues. So here we have the final look. What do you guys think? I did go in with a little bit more blush. For today, I'm wearing this shade from my Hourglass Tiger palette. That's Iridescent Rose, and I think it goes pretty well. I was happy to see that glided on pretty nicely on top of that highlight, so that's good to know as well. If you want to put this on and then put a powder on top, it's totally fine once this has dried down. So overall, I'm really pleased with the products that I tried out today. So I'm not sure how much I will end up using this, and that this is a very different step than what I normally do in my routine, but I absolutely love the way this has made my skin look. I do feel like it just added a little bit more luminosity to the base. Like, you can't really tell necessarily, like, it's not like you can see any shine, but I do feel like compared to when I typically wear the Lisa Eldridge, there's just like a tiny bit more of a sheen. And where I put on the cheeks, I think it is really beautiful. I've not been really into highlighter recently. Like, the past year, generally I just forgo highlighter, but I think this really subtle shine is perfect for my current tastes. It also just blends out super seamlessly, and this shade, Cosmic Rose, is absolutely perfect for my skin tone. In terms of the foundation, like I said, I already know that I love this Lisa Eldridge foundation. It was helpful for me to find that my ideal winter shade is basically like 8 and 10 sort of mixed together. I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually go out and buy another bottle, but I do highly recommend this formula. I love the finish that it gives on my skin. It's just so, so pretty. Really, really great both for everyday and also for events, whenever you just want something that looks really natural. In terms of the eyeshadows, I'm so excited to film more content with this. I know I didn't actually end up using many of them in today's look, but this shade Titania is really, really lovely. I'm so happy I picked this up. I was on the fence about this, a little worried whether it'd be too deep, but this was so easy to do today. I'm really impressed with the finger application because, like I said, normally I don't actually go in with finger application for liquid eyeshadows, but this actually worked really well, even though this has that black base, which can theoretically get messy and muddy, but it looks so, so pretty. So I will have to try these two out in another video for you guys, but super stoked to try these as well. Same thing with Sorcery. I mean, this just looks so incredibly gorgeous in pan. It's so much prettier actually in person even. Like, this shade especially is so multi-dimensional. So I can't wait to try this out. And I've seen folks use this also for one and dones to make it more wearable. Like I could definitely imagine just going in with a little bit of this matte and then just one of these shimmers, especially these two, sort of for a more everyday friendly look. So yeah, I can't wait to play around with this, and hopefully this fares a lot better than the Myth palette. And I have to say, putting on this Gloss Embrace again after a long time, I do really love this formula in this shade. It's so pretty, like it looks so juicy on the lips. My lips are feeling super, super nourished right now. And I love the level of pigmentation this has. At the beginning of the video, I was wearing the shade Blush, in case you guys are curious, and that one has very, very light pigmentation. So really great for just a very no makeup look. This one though definitely will give you a punch if you want to have more of that red lipstick look, but not like fully commit to a red lip. So that's it for today's video. I would love to hear in the comments if you guys have tried Lisa Eldridge makeup, and if so, what your opinions have been about the products. I think she has a lot of great releases in store for us this year, so I can't wait to pick up whatever she releases next. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!